camera.
Hello, friends. My name is Richard Irvin, Mayor of Aurora, and it is my absolute pleasure to be here this evening talking to the voices of 2020. These are our graduating high school students of 2020, and we're here just to talk about their feelings, how they're affected by this pandemic, what they thought when they first came into this year in 2019 and how they thought it was going to end for them in 2020, how plans changed. And these here are the top of their class, these folks we're talking to, Myra, December, Nancy, Caitlin, Taj, Dominic, Bryce, Lewis, Michael, Adam, Rosie, and Maya. We wanted to ask them, what kind of inspiration can you give to other class members, your other class members of 2020, let them know that we want to turn this tragedy into triumph. Even though your plans that you had made from the time you started in your senior year have been changed a little bit because of COVID-19, how are we going to turn this into success? And I'll give each of you an opportunity to just introduce yourselves and tell what school you're from, what you were known for at your school, your distinctions in high school, and what college you had planned to go to in your major. And we'll start with first of all, hi everybody, how you guys doing? You all right?
Yeah, good.
Relax. This is a conversation. Y'all good? Y'all everybody's trying to pose. I know all your people watching, but let them know we're in the house tonight. So let's start with December. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your high school, and what your plans were for the future?
Okay, so my name is December. I'm graduating from West Aurora High School. I played basketball for 4 years. I played tennis for 3 years. But outside of school, I'm heavily involved with my community. I was in Aurora Youth Council for a year, and I'm heavily involved in the APD Police Academy. I've been in that since I can remember. I'm very heavily involved with law enforcement. My college is still a little undecided, trying to just weigh my options, but I am majoring in criminal justice, and I'm going to have a minor in cybersecurity.
Wow, that's great. Well, thank you. Well, good to have you on with you in December. Do me a favor. You have a very, very soft voice. Can you turn your sound up just a little bit? So we want to make sure we hear everything you say. And let's, Myra, let's go on to Myra.
Yeah, I'm Myra. I'm graduating from Mattia. While at Mattia, I was the editor-in-chief of our newspaper and the communications director for student government. And I took a semester off actually to be in DC to be a Senate page with Senator Duckworth. So that was fun.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then for next year, I'm looking at the University of Chicago, and I think I want to double major in international relations and law and society.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, good to have you on. And Mr. Muhammad, who is not pictured but is on with us as well, is our director of communications with the city of Aurora. So he better watch out because we got some talent coming up on his heels. All right, let's go on to Nancy.
Hi, I'm Nancy Bravo, and I am a senior at East Aurora High School. At school, I do band, cross country, and track. I've been in that for 4 years. Outside of that, I'm in HSF Scholar, and currently I'm still undecided on what college I want to go to, but I do know that I want to major in political science with a concentration in urban politics.
Wow, that's great. Well, I guess I better watch out then. I'm telling Clayton to watch out. I gotta watch out. All right, we got Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Caitlin, and I'm from Oswego East. I was involved in a CQ program, and I did a lot of volunteering throughout high school. And then next year, I'm heading to Grand Valley for nursing.
Wow, great. Thank you. Thank you for being on board with this, Caitlin. And, especially with this tragedy with COVID-19, our nurses are front line, they're our heroes and heroines. So you're about to join some very popular ranks right now. Taj.
My name's Taj. I'm a senior from Aurora Christian High School, 4-year varsity starting point guard for the basketball team, 4-time regional champion. I'm a two-year student ambassador, and then I'm a Dunham Scholar, 2-year Dunham Scholar.
Wow, brother. So you got a whole lot of medals just like Lewis got that you need to be hanging behind your head,
Yeah, I got a nice wall like him.
right?
He got
My
a
brother, my
wall.
brother. All right, Dominic.
I'm Dominic Dietrich. I'm a senior at Marmion Academy. At school, I'm involved in the JROTC program. I'm company commander, one of the company commanders, and I'm involved in a lot of different service groups, NHS, Interact Club, outreach ministry, stuff like that. A lot of service. So for college, my plans are to attend the University of Notre Dame, and then I will be majoring in computer science.
Wow, that's great. That's great. With these days, IT is the way to go, brother. Bryce, my brother Bryce, what's going on?
Hi,
Who are you, man?
good. How you doing?
All right.
I'm Bryce Logan. I'm a senior at Waubonsie Valley High School. In the fall, I will be attending University of Indianapolis, majoring in international relations with a concentration in pre-law with also a minor in Spanish. And just throughout high school, I've been heavily involved with our special ed programs, and then as well mentoring for sports as in football, basketball, and track and field.
Well, man. All right. All right. All right. Let's go to Lewis.
Hi
Hey,
everyone.
you really don't have to say nothing, Lewis. I think your
Right,
background
yeah.
speaks for itself.
Let me just hide everything in the back real quick.
Go ahead. I'm messing with you, Lewis. Go ahead, brother.
Well, yeah, my name is Bryce Lopez. I go to West Aurora High School. At West Aurora High School, I do a lot with service, as well as I serve as the chapter president for for West Aurora HOSA. I also serve as a student representative on West Aurora School Board of Education. Outside of school, I'm also, like I said, heavily involved with HOSA. At the state level, I served as the Northern Area Vice President. And we're already done with high school. I'm gonna go to Aurora University to study athletic training.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, you. All right, Michael.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Martinez. I'm a senior at East Aurora High School. And this fall, I plan to pursue mechanical engineering at the University of Urbana-Champaign. Throughout the 4 years of high school, I was heavily involved in band. Showing my leadership, I became the drum major this year. And outside of school, I've been involved I was involved in Voice to Men, and currently I hold a national co-president position. So yeah, that's me.
All right. All right. Boys the men in the house. B2M. All right. Now we got Adam.
Hello, my name is Adam Paulie. I'm a senior at Aurora Central Catholic High School. I serve as student council president. I also serve on the Aurora Youth Council as its vice chairman. And I work on state legislation with Stephanie Kipowitz. I will be going to Waubonsie in the fall, where I will be majoring in political science, and I hope one day to hold public office myself.
Man, you guys gunning for me, huh? Well, I'm gonna leave the seat warm for you, because by the time you get there, trust me, it'll be time for you to step in. We got Rosie.
You don't got to worry about me taking over your job, I promise. My name is Rosie Schrader, and I go to the great Waubonsie Valley High School. For my 4 years there, I was on the cheerleading and track team. I helped with Link Crew, which is a club where the upperclassmen help with the freshmen in their transition coming into high school. I also do Young Life, which is a Christian club at our school. I coach a national championship youth cheerleading team, the Naperville Chargers. I also volunteer on the graphic design team at my church, and I'm also on the broadcast team at Waubonsie. So I announce football and basketball games for our sports. And next year I'll be going to Ohio Northern University studying marketing and graphic design, and I'll also run on the track team.
Wow, amazing. That's great. And we have Maya.
Hi, my name is Maya. I went to Matina Valley High School, and there I mostly was involved with music in the theater department. So I did most of the musicals and the plays, and I was also involved in some of the singing groups like Muses, the a cappella group, and UVE, which is like this small gospel choir that we have. But this upcoming year, I will be attending DePaul, where I will be kind of building my own major and focusing on writing as much as I can.
Absolutely. Now, Maya, correct me if I'm wrong. Weren't you just on the stage like in January, February? I could swear I saw you singing.
Oh, probably for month, maybe. Probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Beautiful voice.
thank you.
All right, so now we're going to go through a number of questions, and I said, I just want you guys to be real. Just let's have a conversation with our audience and the other your classmates in 2020. And I'm just going to jump around to different people and just ask you questions and give other folks an opportunity to chime in as well. And let's start with the first question. COVID-19 has changed everything. What do you miss about your life before the stay-at-home order, and how the changes impacted you and your peers the most, you believe? Let's start with Nancy.
For me, I think what I've missed the most about my life before all of this are the changes in scenery, definitely, because even if it was just one little thing, walking in the hallways at school, maybe you say hey to someone that you don't usually greet on your way to class, that little like piece of new information would keep your mind, active and stuff. And I feel like being at home, like a lot of that new information from your surroundings doesn't really go into your brain because there's only so much you can explore in your own house. So I think that's definitely taken a toll on me and my peers because it's just our minds aren't as active as they used to be.
That's a very good answer. I can tell you that I found new places in my house that I didn't even know existed because I'm spending so much time at home these days. Let's go to Dominic. How's things changed? How's this changed you?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. I think it's easy to say that, hey, I miss getting to see my friends, but to be honest, I still am able to either FaceTime them or text them throughout the day. But I think really not getting to see the teachers that you'd see in class, or a lot of the students that you're maybe not as close of friends with, but you'd pass by in the halls or see in the morning and have a conversation with. I think those are just interactions that you don't get when you're sitting at home, and it's something that I really miss out on.
Now, I bet you guys, going to school every day, you didn't think that, even as you pointed out, Dominic, the people that you don't know well in school, that you would actually miss people. And sometimes people, you know how we are, people get on our nerves, but then you say, wait a minute, I miss these people. What do you think, Maya?
I definitely agree, but I would also say that I miss the sense of freedom that we at least had, because it's easy to say that it stings that we don't get to go out as much, even though I probably didn't go out as much as I probably would have anyway. But I also, like you said, didn't really get to say goodbye to the people that I don't really talk to as much, even though we still had sort of a bond, and also like saying goodbye to teachers and educators and people who have like helped us like all the way like 3 or 4 years that we don't really get to see. So
that's actually very deep, just the opportunity to say goodbye to people that you've spent 4 years with, even the ones you don't talk to often and know very well, just that acknowledgement that you've been through something for 4 years, and just goodbye and farewell. Wow. Yeah, I see some heads nodding there, in agreement. What about you, Rosie? What do you think?
I think it's hard. You just don't have that closure. There's those friends that it's just part of your daily routine. You know exactly where you're going to see them in the hallway when your schedules meet up, and you see them every day. And you're just really going to miss that. And I mean, I wake up and I have the same routine every day, but I say hi to my family, and then that's about it. Like, I don't get to say hi to numerous different teachers throughout the day. That it just puts a smile on your face every day. And it's like our principal says, it's all the work without any of the fun right now. And that's kind of true. You got all the schoolwork, but you don't have all your friends to say hi to and your teachers to talk to.
Yeah. Taj, what do you think, brother?
I feel mostly what impacted me is just not having the escape of the competition, I feel, and like the sports around us. I feel like that brought the community closer. Like, for instance, my school, that brought our community really close. We had a couple teams that were really successful this year, and I missed that aspect of just being able to support my other peers, and even my peers being able to support me through the sport I played.
Man, yeah, because especially when you're on a team like that, those people become like family, man. Your brothers in arms, your sisters in arms, and when you just stop, one day it just stopped. It didn't even give us any notice. Just one day, sports is over. School is over. Stay home and learn from. It just changes things. Let's go on to. It does. Let's go on to the next question. Now, you go from a daily schedule of classes and co-curriculum activities to staying at home. Describe your schedule of remote learning and what else you fill your time with. Let's start with Bryce.
Definitely regarding all this quarantine and COVID situation, it's definitely hard to, like Rosie and everyone else has said, that to not see those people each day that kind of like motivate you to keep going a little bit. So I know personally, like when I wake up, obviously greet my parents, greet my little sister, say hello, eat breakfast with them. Now that we have more family time to, sit down, everyone's not going haywire all over the place, trying to get to work, scramble to school and all that stuff. And then after that, I get my work done. And then I actually had picked up a job over this quarantine at Target. So I'm working there right now to kind of keep myself going, try to interact with more people instead of, trying to sit at home and kind of just in my own head a little bit. And then as well, I'll be a collegiate athlete in the fall at University of Indianapolis. So I still have to keep my body in shape. So after work and all that stuff, I have to make sure I still get a good workout in and then still get that rest so I can keep going each day. So it's definitely different. It's almost the same, but it's not the same feeling because it is our senior year and it just wasn't how we all expected.
Yeah. You said something when you first started. I think I want to expand on that just a little bit, that you're spending more family time together. Now there's not as much hustle and bustle and rush to get off to school at 7 o'clock, 7:30, and you sit down and have breakfast. Is that, how's that been working out? It seems like that might be a good thing.
Honestly, it's a great thing. I love it. I'm a big family person. My family means everything to me. They're number one, no matter what I'm doing or where I'm at in life. They're always going to be right by my side no matter what. So I know definitely we're all taking this as like a positive, like, you know what, like let's eat breakfast, let's eat lunch together, sit down, talk about the day, even if we haven't even gone anywhere. So it's just good to just catch up on things, kind of talk about the little small things going on with society and politics, the news, the medical health that's going on. And it's really good for the family aspect of things.
Absolutely. And Myra, what is your day like?
So I'm definitely used to going from like when I wake up to about 10, 11 at night, just go. But now I'm waking up later. That's fun.
Sleeping in.
Yeah. And I've been taking advantage of any of those like free virtual programming. I know University of Chicago is doing a lot. So I've been able to take classes with their University Ballet, which I'm hoping to join in the fall. And also just connecting with people through their like spiritual life coffee chats and anything like that. And I've also been doing a lot of work with just helping next year's team for clubs and newspaper transition into their roles. So I've been meeting with underclassmen too to help them figure out what next year is going to be like too. So.
Where do you guys meet at?
On Zoom.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we meet on Zoom. That's right. That's like, you can have parties on Zoom, everybody.
Yeah. I usually meet up with my friends at night. So we'll have like a slideshow night or we'll just do some yoga together. So that's also fun.
Oh, that's cool. Michael, what's your schedule like?
Hello. So sort of like how Bryce was saying, I wake up in the morning, I take my breakfast, work a couple shifts, like throughout the week, and then like what I've lately been doing was like, this is an everyday thing that I've been doing was like, I wake up, eat my breakfast and start my homework, finish what I have to do for the day, and pick up a landscaping project or like something to like to fix around the house, gotta stay busy. And that's sort of something like that we've like a schedule of like things to fix around the house that we've just been like going after during this quarantine.
Yeah. December, what's your schedule been like?
Oh my goodness, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little hard, like the first week, because I was like not used to doing everything on my laptop. I'm just a face-to-face person. And I'm also like one of those students who have like 45 tabs open at once. So when teachers like assign stuff, I'm like, oh my God, like what am I gonna do? And stuff is like always all over the place. But like it's getting a lot easier actually. Like the daily, of course, like I wake up and like I eat breakfast or like I go on drives with my grandma like early in the morning when no one's out. So, the sun's out, is like really beautiful out. But then like when I get back and now that I'm officially graduated, it's kind of like I don't really know what to do. So I'm like catching up on like drawing or writing and a lot of that stuff too. And since I want to like go into cybersecurity, I've been on like IT programs and stuff like that. So to help me further my education more. But for the most part, I'm kind of like an ant on the log, just like, okay, what do I do now? Like I'm graduated and can't exactly go out, but like you said, there's always like Zoom calls, and I've actually been like on a few virtual like dates and like just hanging out with friends and talking a lot. So it's really different though. It's exciting but different.
That's the first I heard a virtual date on Zoom. I can only imagine how that goes. You know what I'm saying? See, people could cheat because you could have notes on the side, be reading the notes. That's a good one. I like that. I like that.
Just to like dress up, like just put something on nice and like sit in front of camera and be like, all right, like I mean, I guess like I'm doing something.
Wow, you even get dressed up for the date. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Caitlin, what about you? What's your schedule like?
Actually, I'm working a lot. So I'm working as a CNA and an assisted living like memory care. So I've been working a ton there, picking up a ton of hours because they're so understaffed with this virus going around. Actually, I've been working head on with a bunch of COVID patients. So it's definitely an eye opener. Definitely an eye opener.
So you've actually been working with COVID patients and had contact?
Yeah. Almost every time I work.
How's that been?
I mean, it's kind of scary, but I love working. I enjoy my job. So I enjoy it.
And I'm sure you're in full PPE dealing with that.
Oh,
That's
definitely.
personal protective equipment, you know, for those who wonder what PPE stands for. You know, let's do a let's do a round robin. Someone had said that, you know, it's Maya said that she was it Maya that said she missed the opportunity to say goodbye to these folks that you've been with for 4 years, and especially your teachers. And everyone always has a favorite teacher or coach or peer, just someone that affected, you know, your life and your career as a student. You know, we're just going to go around and I'm going to ask each of you who that person is that may have affected, you know, your careers, and what you would say to them now since you didn't have the opportunity to say goodbye properly. Michael, let's start with you.
I would like to give a shout out to Dr. Chassie Schertz. She's always pushed me throughout high school. That one teacher from East Aurora High School that, you know, taught the importance of teaching the students and not really the subject was Mr. Bernard, and he like really influenced me into like changing my mentality and into like a look of more to the future.
Good. I'm sure he'd be proud of you. I'm sure he is proud of you. I'm sorry to see you go. What about you, Nancy? Is there a person that affected you? Would you like to say hi?
Yeah, for me, I think the person that has affected me the most was my AP Euro teacher from sophomore year, Mr. Elkins. He has always been constantly checked on me from like after sophomore year, like junior year through senior year, and he emails me now like to see like, oh, how's senior year going and stuff like that. And every morning I would pass by him on my way to AP Gov, and he'd always say hello, check in, and I just want to thank him for holding me accountable.
It's great. It's great. What about you, Rosie?
For me, I think the greatest blessing that Waubonsie has given me is my teachers, especially the business department. Just every single one of them are so personable with students. I know I can come to them for anything. I've eaten lunch with most of them. They'll come and sit at your lunch table, or if I need help in tutoring and stuff, they'll give up your lunch hour. And after you're done tutoring, you're in this conversation that just goes so deep and you have so many questions. You don't want to stop talking about life with them because they're so personal, and their goal in life is to make you a leader and a better person in the world, as well as building you as a student. And that is the biggest impact and the biggest blessing I could have asked for from the business department.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lewis, what about you, brother?
Oh, I kind of got emotional. I'm surprised I'm not crying anymore. But
Go ahead. This is your opportunity, man.
Yeah. I'd just like to give a huge thank you and to all the teachers in the Health Science Academy at West Aurora High School, especially April Sonnefeld. She's been that person that has always looked out for me, though. She's been the only teacher that I've met all throughout my educational career that has actually like motivated me to be a better person, and always just been there for me. If I ever needed to cry on someone's shoulder, she's been there. If I ever needed help with the scholarship or with the resume or anything, she's always been there for me. And up to this day, she always checks up on me, makes sure I'm okay. She's always motivating me to continue to be a better person and just to do everything that I can, basically.
It's great. It's great. Myra, what about you?
Yeah, everyone at Mattia is great, but I would like to shout out Mr. Page. I think he's watching, so hi, Mr. Page. So he was my newspaper advisor for 3 years, and I just miss seeing him every day because he's great. He makes me a better journalist. We both kind of push each other to make the best publication we can. But he's also just such a great person. He's always there to listen or get snacks or like tissues if, some of us are crying in the newspaper room. But I definitely want to say that he's like been the best teacher ever. And yeah.
Absolutely. December?
I would like to shout out my French teacher. I've been with her for 4 years, all 4 years. She's always like I believe Rosie said, like she's always that one teacher that devotes like her lunch hour for me, and she's always like changed the grading scale based on me and like my performance and like how I do on tests. And she's always just been that teacher that I could always like talk to whenever I needed. And like I was so close to quitting French because French is a very hard language, and she'd always push me and be there and be like, nope, you're not doing it. You've been here for 3 years. You're not doing it. You're not quitting. So like that's one of my teachers that I put high up there because she's actually done a lot for me, and I'm so grateful for that. So
Absolutely. Taj, what about you, man?
I would like to give a shout out to my head coach, Mr. BB. He's also the athletic director of my school. Coming into my school, it was kind of unannounced. I didn't know what brought me there, but over time I found out what drove me to Aurora Christian, and it was God. And I feel like he pushed me with my faith, and he showed me how to be a leader to not only my teammates and not only the younger people in the school, but to the community, and just show people, regardless of your background, you can do a lot of things.
Absolutely. Dominic?
I'd like to shout out my theology teacher, Father Joel. He's someone that I got to have in class this year, and also my brother and even my dad had him in class when they went to Marmion. He's a guy that just has a ton of insight, a ton of knowledge, and he's just known really well all around the school as just this guy that he knows everything. And getting to be in his class this year, it really pushes me to be my best, and I think he's really prepared me well for college.
Absolutely. About you, Caitlin?
Honestly, I'm sad I never got any closer with any of my teachers. Like it was our senior year and we walked out our last day and never knew it. But probably my favorite teacher was Miss Fulkerson. She was actually my CNA instructor. So she was a great teacher, great leader. And now I actually get to work with her. She's a nurse at the facility I work at.
Oh, wow. That's great. Great.
Yeah,
Small world. Adam?
I would like to give a shout out to Miss Hanson. She's a math teacher at Aurora Central. She helped me a lot with my math because I'm not very good at it. And she also did a lot with the student council. She, whenever she saw somebody in need, whether it was a student whose parent had just passed away or someone who was sick, her and I would always find ways to help them. She is one of the most caring people that I have met, and I didn't properly get to say goodbye.
Oh, you just did, brother. Bryce?
For me, I definitely like to give a big shout out to the special ed department at Waubonsie. I know that personally working hand in hand with Mrs. Wolf has been just a blessing over these past 2 years that I've been in our peer partners program. And she's taught me just so much about just myself and how to make sure I have patience and how to work with any and everybody, no matter given what situation or disability that can come up and happen. And it's just a blessing. I just want to thank her so much, and also thank my athletes as well for allowing me to grow during these last 2 years of high school.
Absolutely, brother. And Maya, and I'm thinking that, when you mentioned it earlier, the song "Never Can Say Goodbye" popped into my head. Michael Jackson, Jackson 5. I'm not going to ask you to sing it, but I'm thinking it.
I'd say the teacher that I would have to give a shout out to is my English teacher from this year, Mr. Sogos, because he's the kind of teacher that you would need to have your senior year when like you're focusing on everything but like what's in front of you, like your college apps and your scholarship apps, and like you're thinking so ahead into the future that you're not present all the time. And he's the kind of teacher who would be like, hey, breathe, slow down, and we'll get through this together. So
sure, he'd be very thankful to know that. Now, hopefully he's watching and he'll have heard you say that. Kaylin said something that was right along the lines of what Maya had pointed out earlier. Didn't have a proper way to say goodbye, but you walked out of school one day your last day and you didn't know it. You didn't know it was going to be your last day of your senior year, arguably the most important year of your high school career. It's got to be traumatic, but it looks like, as I'm listening to a lot of the things you're talking about, you'll always have those memories in your heart of your experience, and you guys are making good of it. Let's go on to the next question. Let's talk about traditional senior milestones. How are you and your peers changing the loss of prom, graduation, and are there any plans for proms and prom or graduation? I'll start with Lewis.
Well, we're definitely given a unique experience in a way, and it's showing us how us as seniors and the senior leadership, we can become really adaptive and show like our rest of our class, like it's just because something like this happens in your life, you can move on from this, you can recover, and you can make a difference in your community. As far as for like prom and graduation for West, it's still postponed up till August and like end of June and July for our events. Hopefully we get to have it, but if not, I know that our administration team will come up with some solution to give us still our senior year.
And I'll ask the ladies before we go on to the next person, how many of you already had your prom dress picked out, that you knew what you were going to buy? I see some hands going up. Hey, let's go next to Rosie. Any plans for prom, graduation, or any kind of plans?
So far, our prom was moved to July, and that's if the Bolingbrook Country Club will still allow us, and obviously the government will allow that many people to be in a building together. As far as graduation, our plan is to have a virtual ceremony in early June. That's just in case we aren't able to gather in July, but if we are able to, then we will have a ceremony on the football field, which will be the first in Waubonsie history. So that will be, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we'll have that opportunity. Everybody thinks of the day that just walk across the stage. You can take like that deep breath, look at all your classmates, and all the hard work paid off. So everyone's really hoping for that. Obviously, we have to abide by state rule regulations and everything, but I just think it really shows how selfless the senior class is. We've had to sacrifice a lot, but we've been really resilient with it. And each each senior milestone that passes by that we don't get it, I think everybody reaches out to us. It's very supportive as well. Teachers,
Absolutely.
Classmates, parents.
Absolutely. Taj, what about you, man? What about your prom, graduation? Are there any other plans?
I know that our prom is canceled, so they officially canceled our prom. I think my mom's forcing me to take pictures, but other than that, I'm not really that. It's not that big of a deal to me. I was going more for my date because, out of respect, because that's the girls. I know how it's a big day for them, but it's okay for me. Graduation, I think they still postponed it. They're talking about, they put a survey out for all the students to choose if you want to do virtually or try to wait it out. A lot of kids are just starting to give up on it, and I just feel like we're all realizing that we just gotta. Class 2020 is just different.
Yeah. Class of 2020 is going to be one that goes down in history. Now, let me ask you a question, Taj. You said your mom is making you take pictures anyway, so I assume your prom date's going to be there with you in these pictures, right? So does she already have her dress?
Yeah, she already had her dress. That's really why, because I don't have my stuff. I got to order my stuff still online. She already had her dress.
So you're going to still get tuxedoed up and everything?
Yeah.
My man. Now, let me ask you, did you ask your prom date to go out with you, take pictures with you for prom? Did you ask her over Zoom?
Nah,
nothing like that.
I have to keep my mask on. Just keep my distance.
He said he did it in person, just kept the mask on.
Yeah.
That's cool, brother. That's cool. Let me, ask around. Maya, do you have any plans for prom or graduation?
I don't think so. I don't know if they've canceled it or not. I haven't really paid attention to the cancellations because I know they're still coming. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But as for prom, I didn't really have any plans. I not really like a big prom person. Like I might have thrown something together at the last minute or something, or like gotten a dress like the last minute, like I always do. But I was more like focused on like the memories because I know my friends are super hype about it, so I would just go for them.
Absolutely.
But
I saw. What? Michael, go ahead, brother. You got some plans?
All right. It's just unfortunate that like all the seasons had to end, like the sports seasons, this spring, and we had to like end seasons with players who were uncommitted to schools, But currently we have a team at school or like from our school working together to reschedule these dates that were important to seniors to recognize their milestones. Currently they're planning our senior night, and they're also planning senior honors night. They currently have rescheduled our new prom date to July 18. Hopefully it opens up to that. And we have a rescheduled graduation date to August 1. So hopefully it goes as planned and the curve flattens by then, hopefully.
Let's hope for it. Let's hope. Now, I believe, Myra, you had your hand raised that you already had your dress. Is that right? Yeah.
Well, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So my friends from DC and I are actually we're doing like a little mini prom in July. So the 26 of us are like spread across the country. We got like Alaska, Maine, Texas, everywhere. So we're gonna meet up in Chicago and do like a mini rooftop prom. Maybe get one of those boats or something. But
now, when is this party? When is this going on? Because I think everybody else is what?
Right. I want to invite.
I want to come to that.
Invite me. Invite me.
I'll bring the snacks. I'll be there.
Hey Bryce, that sounds like you asking for a Zoom date, bro. I don't know.
I might have to. My girlfriend might have to show up.
Now, Caitlin, did you have your hand raised earlier, saying you already had your dress?
Yes, unfortunately, our prom was canceled. It was so sad, but we're also, me and my friends and our dates are going to take some pictures. We're going to maybe throw a little mini too. I think our school is doing 10 people at a time, but then like a live stream of it, if I understood correctly.
Okay.
That's good.
All right, well, that's good. You still got some plans going on. Still got some planning. All right, let's go on to the next question. Many have said the pandemic will cause us to live in a new normal. And it may not change until this new normal may be our life up until we get a vaccine. And no telling how long that takes. They're saying a year, maybe a year and a half. So this is our new normal for now. How has this impacted your college or post-high school planning and decisions? Let's start with Rosie.
The one thing I've learned is to not make plans because most likely they will get canceled. Even I definitely thought we'd be back at school at the beginning of this, and then each week just went by and it seems to get worse and worse. So I'm such a planner. I always had like a schedule. Like I'd say I have to leave this place at like 4:47 if I want to get at this place at 5 o'clock. Because I would jam pack my schedule so much. So I had so much planning. So I've definitely learned that just enjoy each moment you're in. I'm always thinking for the next thing right ahead of me, but I kind of have to think of what's right in front of me right now. And I think I'm really going to take that into college and everything too, to not just go in with a plan because most likely it will not work out as perfectly as I thought. May that be major wise or people I meet or with sports or everything. It might not always go my way, but I always have to make sure to just stay in the moment and take part in like the little things.
Wow. Carpe diem. Seize the day. Seize the moment. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Enjoy it while you're here. Well, let me ask you, because, you said you were a planner and that kind of was who you are, as a person, and it created your personality. When you had to make that change from being a planner to just accepting what was in front of you and just working every moment, enjoying every moment, every day, every week, was that hard, that transition, and how does it affect you now?
Most definitely. Just because you get so used to your schedule that you have, and then now that within like one day it was pretty much flipped and turned upside down and everything. So it's taken a lot of getting used to, but it's also right now it's kind of giving me a break, a little bit of time to breathe and stuff too, because I had lived such a busy life for so long that now I can kind of take a step back and appreciate everything.
Absolutely. But let me tell you, that first week when they said, when the governor made the decree and we stayed home, that first week we went home, it was like, all right. So then it was like, everything stopped. You're like, okay, what do I do now? That the first hour is gone. Now what do I do the rest of the 3 months that I'm gonna be off?
I run out of rooms in my house to go visit. Like somebody said, each different room in your house or each different window is like a different TV show. Like, oh, what's this neighbor up to? What's this neighbor up to?
and who's starting to watch a whole lot of Netflix? Get in there.
Oh,
Anybody?
I finished like every show you could ever watch.
I've never watched a whole show before, and now I've watched 3.
The whole season, right? Like in 2 days, right? Exactly right. Let's go on to Caitlin. How has this affected your post high school planning and college?
So while I'm sad, I miss all like the senior milestones. It's good to get an opportunity. And like I said, so I'm working as a CNA, and honestly, working head on, instead of scaring me, it just makes me more excited to work in healthcare in the future and go to nursing school. It's honestly just made me excited.
Yeah.
While it's really sad, it's taught me so much about the healthcare system and everything.
This crisis, has made, because all you guys are 18, maybe some 17, not 18 yet, maybe a few 19. It's almost made you responsible adults just overnight, because high school is over and now you got to do the next thing. And as Rosie pointed out, even though you plan for college or one thing, your plans aren't necessarily going to materialize in 2020, but you make the best of the circumstance. Now, did we lose December? Are you still on? Well, let me ask, I think we lost December for a few minutes. Maybe she'll come back on in a second. Lewis, what are some of the plans that you did? I ask you already, brother, about high school?
No, he didn't.
What'd you do? A post. All right, post. So tell me a little bit about it. What's going on, brother?
Well, it definitely made me like rethink kind of like what I wanted to go into, just like clear up some of the doubt I've had of like what careers I wanted to, just because like now I have a lot of free time to do more research and figure out like what exactly I want to do in life. My plan is still to go to AU in the fall, but if I don't have like enough hours from work that will allow me to have some money to pay for college, then I'll probably have to switch some of my options. But I don't know, it's a open possibility for anything.
Absolutely. Dominic, what about you, man?
Yeah, I think it's hard when, right now we think, we'll probably be back, but then you think about what we thought a few months ago. We never thought it would go this long, and it always seems like it's getting longer. And it's hard because I'm at the end of senior year, I'm ready to start getting excited about about college, and I'm thinking about not only just getting to school and getting to meet new people, but I'm thinking about like the football season and the basketball season. And I'm also a huge Iowa basketball fan, and they're supposed to be really good next year. So fingers crossed that the basketball season doesn't get interfered with at all by this. But it's just hard because you have to rearrange your whole life and be in a whole different mindset, because this is just such an uncertain time.
Absolutely. Now, you say you hope the basketball season is affected by it, but I say those folks from East Aurora High School, that when East was so close after so long, it was affected because just one day the season was over.
Yep.
Season's over. Let's see, we got this December back. Can you hear us? All right. Well, she's having a few technical difficulties, but she'll be back on with us in a second. Let's, it's in one word phrase, just give me a word when you describe the class of 2020 during this time. One word, and then why that word. For example, I totally believe you guys are resilient. Why? Because you're turning this tragedy into triumph. Resilient. So, I'll start. And let's go with Myra first.
Sorry, I would say innovative. I think people have come up with a lot of creative ways to see friends safely, obviously, and then also to serve the community. I know we've done a lot of drives and a lot of cool community events. I would say definitely innovative.
Okay. Nancy?
I think I describe us as versatile because we've been able to adapt and just try to work through this situation at the best of our abilities. And we've all actually have had different types of experiences within this quarantine and stuff. And so I think we definitely have been versatile.
Absolutely. Great. Caitlin.
Probably adaptable, which is kind of similar. Just nobody saw this coming, and now all of a sudden we have to react and we have to learn how to live this new kind of life. In the past, all the seniors have had like the same type of year. They've got to have prom, graduation, and now class of 2020 has to learn it all new for themselves.
Yeah. Taj.
I would say we're unique. Like nobody's really went through what we went through. Not even like physically, but mentally. I feel like mentally the virus is taking a toll on a lot of people. Got a lot of people out of the box, and I say that 2020 is pretty unique with how we dealt with it.
Absolutely. That's a good point, man. We're so focused on physical health, Caitlin, who works in the healthcare field, that we almost forget about the mental health and the importance of, our mental health, because, we're not used to staying in the house and just being on lockdown, and, it affects us.
Right.
What about you, Dominic? One word.
You may not believe me, but my word that I thought of was also resilient. Just
you can use it. I'm sorry, I stole it from you, brother.
That's all right. Yeah, we've had to adapt to these times that everybody's saying, we never really foresaw. At the beginning of the year, we thought our senior year at this time we'd be celebrating, getting to go through all these great experiences. But now we've just had to be prepared to adapt, and just even for next year, potentially be ready to have whatever gets thrown at us.
Absolutely. Bryce, what about you, man?
For me to describe, I think we're leaders, to be honest with you. Just through all of this, we've kind of been that sacrificial lamb. Now that this is something that has never happened before, and we've just really been able to overcome those things, be resilient, and keep innovating, being innovative with what we're doing. But as well with that, just being leaders, we're showing the juniors, seniors, freshmen, sophomores, freshmen, other generations, if this were to, God forbid, ever happen again, you can get through it, and it's going to be okay.
Absolutely. Lewis, one word, brother.
I'd probably say like open-minded or optimistic, just because like everything that's been thrown at us, like we never had like a set plan of how to follow it. We've given our teachers and our administrators and everyone that's been helping us out the possibility that we can basically do anything, and whatever we get, we're happy for it.
Absolutely. Let's go to Michael.
I have a small phrase that I like to say is it's from our varsity football head coach, and it says it's #rise above, and what that means is rising above stereotypes, and in that meaning for like our football team to overcome so many obstacles. We can apply that to today, because we have like risen above the normality and adapted to like the new changes that have come to us because of this new era.
Absolutely, my man. Adam.
I would, if I had to pick one word, say strong. We have in our class definitely come together, and I know that there are definitely people that I didn't necessarily talk to before all this that I talk to now. We have come together as a school community.
Absolutely. Rosie.
My 2 words were resilient and innovative, but they're already used, so I'll just throw in a new word of, I think we're compassionate. Everyone's just banding together now, seeing how other people are feeling. Like I think Taj and Maya had said earlier, like they're not prom people, but their dates and their friends were really looking forward to prom, so they feel for them, and they're going to be there for them, and they want to take part in a celebration in some type of way with them. So I feel like we're more in tune with everybody's emotions and mental health, and we're really there for each other.
Because we're all in this together. Absolutely. Maya?
I would say that we're hopeful, because there's a lot of things that our generation like really cares about that's getting stripped away right now. And like we're always like in the group chat, like whenever like something else gets canceled, we're like, oh no, now what? But we're also like, you know what, the next time we see each other, it's going to be so on, because we're just hopeful for like the next time.
We about to kick it, right?
Yeah.
As soon as we all get together, we're about to go crazy. December, you back? Can you hear us? You back with us?
Yes, I am.
Oh, and you sound much better. One word of how you view the class of 2020 and why.
I would say we're all supportive, most definitely, because like working together as like students to like get all of our work in and everyone like contacting each other, making sure everyone is okay. And like I said, like virtual dating and talking. And I know teachers are really supportive too. Like they're posting their homework when we need it. Like whenever I email like any of my teachers, they get back to me like right away. So I know that they're always here for us and they're pushing for, especially the seniors just there. I'm so grateful for it too. So.
Absolutely. Well, I see where, time has gone by so quickly. We were supposed to be on for 45 minutes to an hour, and now we got 10 minutes left, and I bet you we have some questions from the audience. Clayton, we got any questions, brother? Any statements?
Definitely, we do. First of all, a lot of congratulations to Caitlin, and thank you for being a healthcare hero. Such a young age out there representing. Round of applause for Caitlin. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Directly with COVID patients. First question, we have a couple there, to Taj. Taj, you were the leader of the basketball team that came so close to clinching the state title. Your season got cut short. What did that feel like, and what lesson did you learn from that?
Oh man, this question is really close to hitting home. The feeling is pretty indescribable. Just knowing how hard you work to get to something you achieve, and at the end of the day, it not work out, and it not be because you did something wrong, just because of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. I feel like when we found out that that they canceled state, we were going in a film. This is a very emotional topic for me. I told you guys, I was starting point guard for Royal Christian for 4 years. Took me 4 years to almost get there, and I was one step away. But it just showed me that no matter what God throws at you, He gives His toughest battles to His strongest soldier. So I just took that and I ran with it. Next year, I'll be playing basketball at the defending national champions in junior college. Use that fire from this year that I didn't get to have and didn't get to fulfill, and put it into next year and stay positive and hope for the best. But the feeling is, it's pretty rough though.
Yeah.
Thank you. Next question. So you guys seem pretty sharp, pretty focused. What advice would you give to your 5th grade self, knowing what you're experiencing now as you're prepared to go into the next phase of life? Again, what advice, knowing what you are experiencing now, what advice would you give to your 5th grade self about life?
I would say don't take anything for granted. Life can change in a second, and I think that's all taught us that.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Bryce.
Personally, this is actually a motto and kind of a quote that I live by that my dad actually gave me. It's you have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable. So sometimes in those situations where you feel uncomfortable, hopefully not in a bad way, but just feel uncomfortable, feeling easy about putting yourself out there, doing something that you've never done before, just do it and go at it full steam ahead. If you mess up at 100% and don't regret it.
Anybody else?
I would probably say like, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Louis. Go ahead. We'll come back to December. Go ahead.
Just like one of the quotes that the football team has thrown out this year was, take everything day by day. We've all experienced, like, you never know like what's gonna happen along the road, and sometimes it's good to plan ahead of time, but sometimes it's good to take every day, every moment, every second, just day by day, just to make sure that you're satisfied with yourself and satisfied with what you're putting out to the world.
Great. Go ahead, December.
I would say cherish every single moment that you have, because I'm blessed to have like family around that, aren't getting sick, and just to watch other people lose family members to this pandemic, it has to be I'm sure it is very like hurtful, and
Absolutely.
I cherish every moment that you have with your family and anybody that you know, and especially Caitlin, thank you for that, because you're putting your life at risk, and I just want to cherish this moment. Like, oh, I know Caitlin, she's a frontline worker, so I would just say cherish every moment that you have with these people. So
wow, that's great. That is great. Clayton?
One more question. We're getting a number of requests actually for Maya to sing a song before we leave, but that's all on you, Maya. That's your fan club on Facebook. The question is that you guys represent what it means to be Aurora Strong, and the community wants to know, what is Aurora Strong? That phrase, what does that mean to you personally?
Anybody? Go ahead, Bryce.
It just means to be 10 toes down through anything that's thrown at you. And I know personally, I've lived here all 18 years of my life, and I would never change it and never want to move anywhere else because I feel like the community here between all the high schools, all the middle schools, elementary schools, and just everything that's instilled within this community is here for a reason to only help prosper the youth and make sure everything is going to be okay no matter what situation we go through.
Absolutely. And Adam?
About Aurora Strong, I think that our age group particularly is very strong. In our lifetime, we've had a lot of historical events happen that weren't necessarily positive. We were born around the time of 9/11. We've lived through recessions, mass shootings, this pandemic, etc. And we can use these negative experiences to galvanize ourselves to create a better future, not only for ourselves, but for those who come after us as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is great. Clayton?
Wow, absolutely amazing there. Final question to anybody. What have you learned most about yourself during this time? A lot of time alone, a lot of time in quarantine. What have you learned about yourself?
Rosie?
I would say I work best with other people. I'm a very personal person. I like to have face-to-face conversations instead of just sending a text or over a phone call. So that's my thing too, is once, all social distancing guidelines are up too, is just be as open as I can with people, meet as many people as I can, make new relationships, and everything. And I think the best thing to figure out is how you work best too. Like, some people are finding out they don't work best at home for school. Maybe homeschooling wasn't for them, and other people are finding out maybe it is really good for them too. So finding out how you work best, who you work best with, and this time is really good to just reflect on yourself so you can know how to better yourself.
Nancy?
For me, definitely this has taught me a lot more self-awareness and to see how I fit into the community, how I fit in my role at home. Here at home, like I've had a lot of time to think with myself because everyone in my family is actually an essential worker. So most of the day in the mornings and stuff, I'm alone. So I guess it's kind of just taught me to like be my own person and be okay with my own thoughts and being alone and being able to keep up my productivity and keep myself motivated without anyone here to like kind of like give me like some type of interaction. So definitely it's shown me to be more independent.
Absolutely. Dominic?
I think the thing that I've learned is that I'm able to do my best to make a positive out of an otherwise negative situation. I think as this stay-at-home order has continued on, it's become kind of a grind for all of us, I know, but I think I've been able to find new things to make it interesting, and I've been able to get to appreciate things that maybe I didn't get to as well. I recently started trying to get into a routine, and one of the things that I'm doing is picking up the guitar. I've never really been into that, but for the first time, now that I have more time, it's a good thing that I'm able to do during this time, and I can make that out of this negative situation. And also, I get to see my brothers a lot more because we already had a pretty good relationship. I have one older and one younger brother, but now that my older brother is home from college and me and my younger brother aren't always at school all the time, we're able to go outside and play basketball a lot, and we're able just to talk and get to see each other more than we would have otherwise. So I'm glad I've gotten to have the opportunity, even though it's been a difficult situation for everyone, that I've been able to make a positive out of it.
Absolutely. Myra?
I've definitely learned that I can't cook. I've had a couple of disasters.
You can't cook, is that what you said? Cannot.
But I think that I like the slower lifestyle. I like doing things because I want to, and it makes me happy, and not because anyone tells me I have to, and I think it'll be good. So that's something I've learned about myself, while down here.
Michael?
Something I learned about myself was that I'm really adaptive, and my decision-making skills were just like, I didn't even expect myself to I didn't like expect myself to be like this ready for something that was so unexpected. Like, I created like a small schedule, like day by day basis, in order to like be able to accomplish like a certain task by the end of the week. You know, setting those goals to remind myself where I want to be. You know.
Absolutely. And we will have the last one for Maya. And if you do feel like singing, please, just break out in song. But Maya, go ahead. What have you learned about yourself?
I've learned that I can be productive in several different ways, because a lot of times productivity is just shown as like people just working themselves into the ground with like their studies and their job or anything that like is going towards those things specifically. But I can be productive when I'm writing, or when I'm spending time with my family, or when I'm focusing on like mental health or just physical health. If I take a nap, if I'm tired, I take a nap. Like that's going towards me bettering myself, or just me taking time to take care of myself, which is also, I feel like that's also productive. And also, like Dominic said, like picking up the guitar or trying to learn something new while we have all this time. So
Yeah. And it seems like we do have a lot of time, but you guys are using it very, very productively, very productively. And I want to say it's been an honor to have this conversation with you today. And I absolutely believe you're an inspiration to your classmates. And I hope a number of them have been listening, just to hear what you have to say, because I bet your feelings and what you're going through is the same. And even though I only have a few of you on now, I bet it represents the majority of your class. And it's been an honor. I'm sorry I don't get to spend a whole lot more time talking to you. I could probably stay on for the next couple hours talking to you guys, almost like a date. Almost. I think I'm dressed up for it.
Right.
But you guys make me proud to be the mayor of the city of Aurora. You make me proud to, just to have this conversation with you and hear about your dreams, your frustrations because of what happened. And, we're going through trials and tribulations, but also your triumphs because of it. And you are Aurora strong. And I know Oswego there, we got our do you actually live in Aurora? Because I know a lot of our folks Caitlin, a lot of our folks from Aurora are in the Oswego School District in our Ward 9.
Yeah, I just go to Oswego East.
All right, there you go. So you guys are Aurora strong. You represent what's best in all of us. So thank you very much for joining me. And if you do take those prom pictures, Taj, dress up, or you do jump on that boat, Myra, please send us pictures so we can see how good you guys look, or all of you that decide to dress up and take pictures and still have celebrations. Send them to Clayton, let us know, because we want to celebrate with you. So you guys have a good night. Thanks again for coming on, and I hope to see you all soon. Bye now.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
Everybody.
Take it easy. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.